Yeah, let's finish up with metric conversions. So this is the review for unit conversions for Essential Mathematics. We're going to convert 7.5 meters to centimeters. Okay. So always start with what you're given. And let me preface this real quick with, as we're going through this, please make sure and write down any notes that you think you might need for your 3x5 note card and any questions you might have for me as you're working through this problem, or if you still have questions after I've worked the problem. Okay, so that way we make sure that all of your answers, all your questions are answered, as well as you can provide yourself with what you want to put on your 3x5 note card, and you don't have to remember back of what we did. All right, let's start with converting 7.5 meters to centimeters. Start with what you're given. So here is where you can just use the 1M, because meters is just little m, that's his wrapper name. And we want to convert and get rid of that meter and go to centimeters. But now we have to look at our metric conversions. And again, this is how I'm going to present this to you on the exam, as well as how it will be provided to you in my class in problem solving. So we're going from meters to centimeters, and that's going to be length. Remember, meters is always length. Grams are always our weight, and liters are always our volume or capacity. Okay, so we've got centimeters to meters right here. There are 100 centimeters, cm, in 1 meter. I'm going to write that down, 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So this is a one-step conversion. Meters are gone. I want to get to centimeters, and I have a one step to get me there. Let's plug in our numbers. 100 centimeters is 1 meter. Multiplying straight across, as we always do. Meters are gone. We've got 7.5 times 100 is 750 centimeters. Do not forget your unit. That's half the battle. All right, convert 875,000 centigrams to kilograms. Again, start with what you're given. 875,000 centigrams. Make sure you count how many zeros you have there. I have been known that I have forgotten them myself, so please be diligent in that. I don't want centigrams, so I need to get rid of that. Do I have a way to get straight from centigrams to kilograms? So I need to go find my grams. There's grams. Wait. So grams to, I need to go from centigrams to kilograms. Well, that's grams to kilograms. There's centigrams. Okay, so I'm going to have to puzzle this out, because I have from grams to kilograms and grams to centigrams. Remember, we have to go through our base unit of grams to get from one to the other. All right, so we're going to start with what we were given, centigrams, and then we're going to go to grams. I'm going to write that conversion first. So there are 100 centigrams in 1 gram. And then my other conversion I'm going to need for my second one is 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram. Okay, now I need to set my second conversion up here. I've already gotten rid of my centigrams, and I need to get it to grams, but I don't want grams. So I need to put it down here so they cross out and go to my kilograms. Okay. Now that I've got them to where they will cross out, I end up with centigrams. I plug in my numbers. 100 centigrams is 1 gram. 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram. Multiplying straight across. Centigrams are gone. Grams are gone. I'm left with kilograms, golden. Okay. Now I just need to multiply. Remember, just the top, straight across. So 875,000 times 1 is 875,000. Don't forget your unit. Over 100 times 1,000. And that is 100,000. All right, because we have a number over a number with a line there, that means we must divide. I do not want a fraction. I do not want it left like this. I want you to divide that. Take 875,000, 1, 2, 3 zeros, divided by 1, and then 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Equals 8.75 kilograms. Do not forget your unit. Again, write any notes that you still have or questions in the side. The for yourself or for me. All right, pardon me. Convert 420,000 milligrams to hectograms. Let's start with what we're given, 420,000. 2, 3 milligrams. We don't want milligrams. We want to go to hectograms. Again, break out our weight. Milligrams is here. We only have one way to get there is through grams, your base unit. So 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. And then we're going to go from grams to hectograms. 100 grams is 1 hectogram. The puzzle is much simpler with metric because there's only 2 steps. There will never be more than 2 steps. Okay. The US version is the more difficult by far. So we need 2 conversions here. Let's set these up. Milligrams are gone, and I can only get from milligrams to grams. And then I want to get rid of my grams because I didn't ask for grams and go to hectograms, right? So once you get your units set up to where they'll cross off so you can get you what you want, plug in your numbers. 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram, and 100 grams is 1 hectogram. Multiplying straight across top and multiplying straight across on the bottom. You do not cross multiply here. Milligrams are gone, grams are gone. You're left with hectograms. Fantastic. I'm just going to write it over here so I don't forget. 420,000 times 1 is 420,000 divided by 1,000 times 100 is 100,000. There's a line, there's numbers stacked on top of numbers. So please divide, do not leave it like this. So 420, 3 divided by 1 and 5 zeros equals 4.2 hectograms. Do not forget your unit. Okay. Last one for this section is convert 32,500,000 milliliters to kiloliters. Okay. Well, let's start with what we're given. Be careful with your zeros. 1, 2, comma, 1, 2, 3. It's like I'm dancing. Milliliters times. I do not want milliliters, but can I get from milliliter to kiloliters? We already know we can't. We know we're going to have to go to liters because that's the base for this. So where's my liters? That's my volume capacity. All right. And I'm going from milliliters to kiloliters, and I have no direct correlation there, so I have to jump to liters, our base unit, and then go from liters to kiloliters. Okay, so I'm going to write both of these conversions down. 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter, and 1,000 liters is equal to 1 kiloliter. Stop it. Makes me crazy when she just licks herself. All right, so milliliters are gone that I live with, and we're going to liters. I don't want liters, so let's get rid of liters and go to kiloliters, which is what we actually want. All right, now cross this out, awesome. Now we just need to plug in our numbers. 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter, and 1,000 liters is 1 kiloliter. All right, multiplying straight across the top. Milliliters are gone, liters are gone, left with kiloliters. Sweet. 32,500,000 times 1 is 32,500,000. And this is kiloliters. Do not forget your unit. Over 1,000 times 1,000. You should have the same number of zeros in your answers. So notice there's 3 and 3, so there should be a 1 and then 6 zeros afterward. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's like we're waltzing. All right. Now we just divide because you do not leave these numbers like this. I want you to divide. Give me the decimal, please. So 32,500,000 divided by 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 million is 32.5 kiloliters. Make sure you're asking questions on the side as you have them. All right, how much more do we have of this? I think I'm going to just do the UF to metric, and then I'll do the last section. So let's go ahead and do UF to metric, which I've already got separated for you here. Now, you might have to jump from US to metric over to US or over to metric to do some other part of the conversion, but this will get you across the line like you're dancing across from US to metric, okay? Or metric to US, and then we'll go from there. First one is convert 72 inches to centimeters. So we want to start with what we're given, 72 inches. I do not want inches, I want centimeters, and that's going to be the length. I have inches to centimeters right here. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Direct way to get there. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. All right, plug in your numbers. 1 inch, 2.54, multiplying straight across. Inches are gone. 72 times 2.54 is 182.88. No reason to reduce that or to, I'll get there. 182.88. Round, no reason to round that. Centimeters. Do not forget your unit. Again, don't forget, write your notes in the side over here for your 3x5 note card or for your questions for me, okay? Next one is convert 10 feet to meters. Start with what you're given, always, always. I don't want feet, so let's just get rid of it right off the bat so I don't have to think about it. Once I do that, it's so much easier just to plug in the number that we're going to go to next. Do we have a direct way to get from feet to meters? This is still length, feet right there, and it will take me directly to meters. Sweet, 3.281. Don't just use the 2.8, use the whole thing. 3.281 feet is equal to 1 meter. All right, I'm going to go from feet directly to meters, one-step conversion. Once I get these figured out to make sure I end up with my meters, I plug in my numbers, 3.281 feet and 1 meter, multiplying straight across. My feet are gone. 10 times 1 is 10. Don't forget your unit, over 3.281. Now, I do want you to divide this because it's a number over a number. Do not leave it that way. 10 divided by 3.281. Now, I didn't tell you what to round to this, but we did discuss it in class. So let's discuss it now. 3.0478. I'm just going to stop right there. Okay, and I'm going to put my meter over here because I don't want to forget it. If I will tell you what to round to on the exam. Okay, make sure, like, say if we wanted to round to, and I won't probably take it to the tens, I'll probably take it at least to the hundreds for everything, just to get you comfortable with it. So that means my 4 is my rounding digit. It's either going to go up or stay exactly as it is. And 7 is my test digit. It decides, my test digit decides if I'm going to add 1 to the 4. Remember, we do not use the words round up because it's not a mathematical term. You either add 1 to the 4 or you leave the 4 as it is and just get rid of the rest of the numbers after it. So because our test digit is, and the rules are, it has to be 5 or greater in order to add 1 to our 4. And in this case, we have a 7. So we are going to add 1 to the 4, and then our 7, 8 is going to be going away. So it's going to be 3.01 plus 4 is 5. And do not forget this bad boy right here. All right, convert 15 pounds to kilograms. Start with what you're given. I don't want pounds. Can I get straight from pounds to kilograms? There's pounds, there's kilograms. Sweet. 2.2 pounds is 1 kilogram. Got rid of my pounds. I'm going to kilograms directly. Plug in your numbers, 2.2 pounds, 1 kilogram. Multiplying straight across, pounds are gone. 15 times 1 is 15. Don't forget your unit. Over, and we have a 2.2 in the bottom. So this means we must divide 15 divided by 2.2. And in this case, we have 6.818181. 6.818181. And this is kilograms. But again, I said we're going to round to the second decimal place. So that's my rounding digit. The 8 is my test digit because 8 is greater than 5. I can add 1 to my rounding digit and get rid of the rest of these. So 6.8 and 1 plus 1 is 2. 6.82 kilograms. I love my dog. I love my dog. It's a CPAP. All right, convert 3 gallons to liters. Well, let's start with what we're given. I don't know what I have for conversions on this. We need to get from gallons to liters. Gallons is volume. We have gallons to liters. Sweet. So 1 gallon is 3.79 liters. Remember, you can use the capital L or the little l, either way for liters. Okay. But gallon, please do not use little g, just use GAL or write out the word gallons. All right, so I don't want gallons. Goes down here in the denominator. So they cross out. I can get directly from to liters with one step. Once I get my units set up, then I plug in my numbers, 3.79 for liters for 1 gallon, multiplying straight across. My gallons are gone. 3 times 3.79 is 11.37. And this is liters. Now, if this had another number here, like 11.371, I don't want you to round it. I only want you to round if it is a non-terminating decimal, which means it takes up everything on my calculator. If you've only got like if you've only got between 2 and 5 numbers to the right of the decimal, please put them down. All right, so convert 950 milliliters to cups. Start with what you're given. I don't want milliliters, so I've taken care of that conversion, crossing out. Can I get directly to cups? This is again, 1 cup. So again, volume is what I was going to say. 1 cup is 237 milliliters. So I can get directly from milliliters to cups, 1 conversion. Plug in your numbers, 237 and 1, multiplying straight across. Milliliters are gone. I'm left with cups. 950 times 1 is 950 over 237. Don't forget your unit. Number over a number means we must divide. So 950 divided by 237 is going to be rounded because it's taking up my whole calculator, like I just said. So I'm going to start by writing 4.008. That's actually as far as I need to go. Because I will have you round to probably the hundredths place for most of these. And do not forget your units. So let's work on rounding. The 0, this last 0 right here is my rounding digit. The 8 directly next to it on the right is my test digit. The test digit decides if you add 1 to your rounding digit or if you leave it as it is. Because the 8 is greater than 5, we need to add 1 to our rounding digit, and we get 4.01 cups. Okay. Real world review. That's what I'm going to do now. What have I done on this? We'll do a little bit. We'll see how far I can get. Let's just do a couple of them. Maybe I'll just finish this page off. A 10K race is 10 kilometers. How many miles is that? So we want to start with what we're given. And we want to get rid of the kilometers because we don't want those. And we want miles. We've got to use US to metric. Kilometers to miles. Right there. Kilometers to miles. 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. So I can get directly from my kilometers to miles. Remember to use MI for miles, not just M. Okay. And now we plug in our numbers. 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. Multiplying straight across, our kilometers are gone. 10 times 1 is 10. Don't forget your unit. Over 1.609. And that's 6.215. We just need to go 1 unit past to make sure we have our test digit. So there's our rounding digit. There's our test digit. Our test digit is 5, and the scope is you have to have it 5 or greater. So because it is 5, we're going to add 1 to our rounding digit. So 6.22 miles. So how many miles is this? Is a 10K race? It is 6.22 miles. Excuse me. Let's talk about soup. A soup recipe calls for 1.5 liters of water. How many cups should you use? Well, I'm going to start with what I'm given. And I don't want liters. So Dawn, that's gone. Do I have a way to get from liters to cups? This is US to metric because liters is metric and cups is American. Liters to cups right here. Well, no. We can get from milliliters to cups. So we've got a puzzle to play. We're starting with liters. Do I have a way to get from liters to cup directly? No, not in one step. I can do it in two. And like I've told you in class, please make sure live in the metric system as long as you can, because it's only going to take you 2 steps to get anywhere you need to go. So if you were to move from, well, you have to still get to milliliters to get to cups, because that's the only way we can do it, because the only thing I've given you is 237 milliliters. So 237 milliliters is 1 cup. Now, to get to the milliliters is what we're going to have to do from liters. And I gave you that under the metric part, which is right on the same page. Oof, yeah. 237 milliliters to cups. To get to the milliliters, if you come right up here to capacity, 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. All right, so we can get from liters to milliliters, and then from milliliters to cups. So liters to milliliters, and then we don't want milliliters to cups. There's the puzzle. Okay. Once we get these set up, we start plugging in our numbers. So 1,000 milliliters is a liter, and 237 milliliters is 1 cup. Multiplying straight across, liters are gone, milliliters are gone, left with cups. Fantastic. 1.5 times 1,000 is 1,500, because there's times 1. Don't forget your unit. And then 1 times 237 is 237. Number over a number, we must divide. 1,500 divided by 237 is, that's a number. So I'm going to write 6.329, and this is cup. I'm going to write that because I only need that third one for my test digit. There's my rounding digit. There's my test digit. My test digit is definitely greater than 5. So I'm going to add 1 to my rounding digit. Get rid of my test digit. So it becomes 6.33 cups. All right, I'm going to finish out. I'll do temperature and its own thing. We'll see you in the next video.